St. Mary's Falls is located in the Blue Ridge Mountains region of Virginia. The Blue Ridge Mountains is the source of many rivers, and this one begins here too. It starts from an underground spring, and it's just a small river called St. Mary's River. Then it flows into the larger South River, and from there it joins the Maury River near Buena Vista and Lexington. Next it flows into the James River near Glasgow, and you know all about the James River. The James River flows through many towns and cities of Virginia, like Lynchburg and the capital of Virginia, Richmond, and from there on into the Chesapeake Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. So the water that Frank and I swim in today at St. Mary's Falls, it will eventually end up in the James River and the Atlantic Ocean.
I'm David.
I'm Frank.
And this is my son Noah and my daughter Sarah.
And this is my daughter Maya.
And we're Virginia Trekkers. And we're here today in the Blue Ridge Mountain region of Virginia, right outside the little town of Vesuvius.
And today we're going to be hiking along the St. Mary's River, talking about weathering and erosion and enjoying a beautiful day out here. And right at the end, we might talk about a little bit of gravity.
So if you're ready to go trekking, let's go trekking.
Let's go trekking. Head on out. Look at the scenery behind me. You got a beautiful river, crystal clear. You can count every rock, see every fish. Absolutely beautiful. The Blue Ridge Mountains are the source of many of Virginia's rivers. They start here, they flow all the way across the Piedmont, across the coastal plain, and into the Chesapeake Bay, which dumps into the Atlantic Ocean.
One of the important industries in the Blue Ridge Mountains is recreation. So today we're enjoying one of the special activities they do in the Blue Ridge Mountains, which is hiking.
And even though hiking is fun, you do have to be careful. Like Frank sprained his ankle on our last hike, but in spite of the pain, he's still trekking.
There's Frank with his injured ankle. How's it coming, Frank?
Whoa!
Way to go, Frank, for pulling through in spite of the other trekkers, Alfonso and Brad, not coming along with us today.
Right now I'm standing in a dry rock bed, a river bed. The creek is right behind Dave, who's holding the camera right now. And when it pours rain down here, all the water comes rushing off of the mountains and fills up this valley. Because the water has no place to go, it has to make its own path. This is the second time we've done this hike. The first time we came this summer, and we learned that the trail gets washed out every year. Because of all the water in the springtime coming rushing off the mountains, washes out the trail. So the power of the water needs a place to go, so it cut a hole right through the forest, right down to the other end of the creek.
All right, while we were hiking, we came across this amazing example of weathering. You can see right here where the power of the river has cut right through the rock, and you can see where it swirled around and came out right there. And tons of rocks have broken off and fallen right here, and some of them have been ground so fine that it's just like beach sand here at the bottom. So that really shows you how water, the force of water, is so strong it can break up rock.
And here's Dave trying not to cut himself.
Oh, and that's another thing. These rocks are great for making tools because when they break, they're very sharp. The Indians probably might have used these to make tools.
All right, check out the size of this rock. And notice that it has a clean cut, a clean face on the side. Our only guess is this thing has fallen from the mountain. And there's two ways that it could have done it. And I want you guys to figure out the way. Was it weathering or was it erosion? It's a combination of both. Weathering caused the rock to split, and it was probably ice or water going into the cracks, freezing and expanding, which cracked the rock and made it fall down the mountain. Now the actual falling down of the mountain, that is erosion, the carrying away of materials. And you girls ready to get going?
Yeah.
See you later. Let's go.
And see those white rocks way, way up there? And the white rocks around me, they fell from the same place. Way out there.
There's probably a lot of noise on the way down.
All the way down to here.
So what's strong enough to break a rock? Believe it or not, it's water. When it rains, water gets in the crack in the rock, and if the water freezes, it expands and breaks the rock apart.
Look at this humongous rock field we found. These rocks look like this because of weathering. These rocks used to look like that.
Several times on this hike, we've thought we're lost because we lose the trail somehow.
And that's because the river washes the trail out every time, but it's a good thing we came here once before because we think we found our way back. As long as we keep a natural reference point, which is our river, as long as we stay along the river, we should not get lost.
We hope, especially with children.
Oh great! Now what do I do? The trail's been washed away. See that whole part of the trail from here to here got swept away. I think there was a landslide here from the water. Another great example of weathering on our hike today.
We have to do some pretty dangerous things to bring you guys trekker videos. This tree used to be rooted in soil, but as erosion took place and the water took away its root support, it falls across the river, which is what we're going to use. I'm really scared of heights, so I don't want to look down too far, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, Frank, I think it's okay for you to look down. You're really not too high up there.
Oh, yeah. Like this.
And see, boys and girls, right over here is a tree that's just about to fall because its roots are getting exposed by the river. So give it a couple years and that tree will be making a bridge for us as well.
So as the river erodes the soil away, the roots of the tree are exposed, the tree falls and makes a bridge for us.
As you can see, we finally found a trail marker so we know we're on the right path. We are going to St. Mary's Falls, but if you take the St. Mary's Trail, it'll take you to the top of the mountain. At the top of the mountain, there's a big, huge opening where people love to camp in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and that is an old mining camp. These mountains are full of minerals, stuff like that people need to use and we're able to sell. So there's an abandoned mining camp at the top of the mountain. We don't have time for that. We want to get to that gravity lesson back at St. Mary's Falls. Let's go. Would you look at the color of this water? It is crystal clear. You can count every stone, every fish, every stick. The Blue Ridge is the source of many rivers. That's why this is so clean, is because this is where rivers start. As the rivers flow through the land, it collects runoff from the soil, pollution from factories and cars, and gets dirty. That's why this water is absolutely pristine. It almost looks good enough to jump in.
Welcome to St. Mary's Falls. Isn't that beautiful?
So you notice how the water has carved out the rock back there. That's another example of weathering and erosion.
What examples of weathering and erosion can you see here at St. Mary's Falls? Take a close look. Meanwhile, Frank and I are going to head up to the top of the falls to teach you a lesson about gravity.
Hey trekkers, Dave and I are up at the top now and starting to get a little worried about our whole exciting closing gravity lesson because it's a long way down.
And not only that, the water is freezing cold. I think I'm more scared of the cold than the jump.
My kindergarten friends, you guys have to learn that water runs downhill. And as you can see in St. Mary's Falls, the water is running downhill. And that's because of gravity. The other interesting thing that you're going to learn here is, since this is the source of many rivers, it comes from the ground, which means that the water is very, very cold. And there's something else that obeys the law of gravity, and that's the trekkers. So the trekker goes up, the trekker's got to go down. A little nervous.
So Frank decided to let me go first.
Keep on trekking!
How's the water, Dave?
The water is calm. Is that good? Spring water.
If the camera's a little shaky, it's just because I'm cold. But now it's Frank's turn.
I really don't want to jump now that I'm watching you get cold.
I really wish Frank would hurry up.
My
Because
bad.
I'm freezing.
Because of his ankle, Frank decided to jump a little lower.
You guys at the bottom.
How's your ankle, Frank?
What?
How's your ankle?
Hurt. That was the right call.
And let's watch that jump again.
All right, boys and girls. Remember to check out our website, virginiatrekkers.com, for more podcasts. And see you at the bottom. 1, 2.